And we are back.
That's Jeff. This is David.
Yes, yes indeed. That is a... Although I got that on the first try, that is actually an awkward token to get because if you kill the enemy on these spikes, it will not slide towards you. It will just be on the spikes.
Forever.
So the best strategy is what I did there, try and catch it in midair. You will notice that this is an entrance that we saw in part 1, except now we have enough keys that we can go through the red door corridor.
And a blob.
There's a hidden blob.
Just charging for it, you're gonna die.
This other blob is hard to kill, so I'll ignore him. Wait! There's a secret area.
Awesome.
And that looks like a new spell.
It looks like
It is a scroll with a clock on it, so...
It's either a clock
I will not spoil it, but you may be able to infer what that spell is.
I don't know.
More eggs, limestone eggs, more pushy blocks.
Slidey block.
The one that will throw you off here is that these two, the next jump here, these are next to each other. Right next to each other.
Huh.
You might not assume that at first, but...
Because we're so
Sure
used to the
yeah.
game just being a jerk.
There we go. Brand new spell. The new spell we have is going to be the freeze spell, if I remember correctly. Yes, indeed.
Freeze.
It does exactly as advertised. It will freeze all of the enemies, and it also freeze portcullises. There was a blob there. I don't know if you remembered it, but I sure didn't. Hey, wonder what's on the other side. Yeah, it's another hidden area. All right, awesome.
That makes sense.
It does. It is possible to catch it on the first sort of exit there.
As long as you don't push
Yeah,
against the...
yeah. See, it does just like that.
Yeah,
It's easier to just come out, back in, rather than waiting for it to come all the way back. Hey, look, it's that token we saw earlier. Yeah! That is an item jump. We will hopefully see more of that later, but it is pretty difficult to pull off. When you land on an item, it actually counts as ground, briefly, so you can do a jump off of it. And in very few cases, this will allow you to jump off the top of spikes safely.
Oh, that's nice.
Which I think you did see in one of my tests for the final level.
You did. That.
It was quite epic, and I don't believe I'll be able to reproduce that, but I will definitely try my best.
Too bad you weren't recording.
Yeah, I was not recording at the time, of course, which is why I was able to do it on the first try.
Yeah.
All right. This is the end of the red gate corridor. There is, in fact, one other red key, and although we do have a key we could use there, we will not be going through that way. We'll be exiting through the entrance, which is also the exit, I suppose.
As long as the door is open.
Yep. That way it's a little bit easier, especially with the stuff we have to pick up. So,
Okay.
I don't know if this is the absolute most efficient way of doing it, but it is a way that works. Of course, walking on the overworld is always going to be easier than traversing underground in the dungeons. Plus, by cutting through the middle here, we can find a troll cloud. That's me playing my broken harp, waiting for the troll.
Voodoo.
Come on, guy. Come on, guy. There he is.
And he walks on water.
He sure does.
It is the troll version of Jesus.
Yep, Troll Jesus. We're going to kill Troll Jesus. Don't read too much into that, though. It's,
well, we're not stabbing his side, so I think it's okay.
And it's not a spear.
It's not.
This is not Longinus. Yeah. As the time goes by, no, as the levels go by, the ogres change colors, and they get much more difficult. I will have a hit counter during a later dungeon just to see how ridiculously hard they are. A lot of the times it's worth it to just go back to Galedonia, the very first level of the game, find a troll, kill it in 1 or 2 hits,
and then move on.
Yeah, it produces the same result.
Now, you're still trying to kill it with the back daggers.
Oh yes, of course. This is the most important part. As mentioned earlier, it is like 3.5 times cooler to use a back dagger.
Yeah. Neck dagger, whatever.
Yeah, neck dagger.
Back dagger. Maybe it's his hair that's throwing it.
It's entirely possible. His hair may be a medium for summoning phantom knives.
I mean, he's got the pointy ears.
Hooray, he is dead. I've proven my skill with the twin knife. Do not run into that.
Because you will still die.
Alright, we'll continue heading across the middle to another
down.
entrance that we have seen before.
Those upside down mountain things just confuse me.
It's weird. Because clearly there are the regular versions.
Right there.
Yeah. We go rip Glendaal, we're going to go...
Another question. Who
Yes.
built the boardwalk?
This is, well, interestingly, well, I'll get back to that hopefully after this. This is a good screw with your mind kind of room. Not the most screw with your mind. That red door went back to where we were previously, but we saved a few red keys by coming this way. You push this out rather than jumping up. Right it and make the jump. That's not completely obvious the first time you go through that. But to answer your question, who built the boardwalks? The different lands of Galadonia, which I'm assuming he's some sort of prince of.
Okay.
I think that's some sort of canon. But anyways, originally in the original design for Equinox, it was supposed to be more of a traditional RPG with NPCs and towns. So the different areas like this, Atlena, would be like, I guess, sort of a hub city, and then you'd go into the dungeon. I guess it'd be kind of like Diablo in that way.
Oh, okay.
However, as time constraints sort of pressed... oh, by the way, while we're in this little area here, this is where, in the previous video I said that if you crossed the spike room, you would come out in another area we'll be at later.
Okay, that was it.
That was the very room.
Cool.
Time constraints, also the fact that Equinox is one of the most delayed, sort of like, you know, Duke Nukem Forever style delayed Super Nintendo games. They ended up scrapping that, and I think it's better for it because the sort of desolate nature of the dungeons and also the overworld adds to the sort of creepiness of the game.
Yeah, secret world.
This is the single hardest jump in the game, in the entire game.
Right here.
I think so, yes. This is a angled jump, and there's spikes everywhere, and there's me exploding. You have to do half of the jump to the lower left and then the other half of the jump to the lower right in order to catch the floating block on the other side.
And you have to know the timing
yes,
well
of
enough
course.
to actually...
You cannot get too far off the side, otherwise you'll touch the spike and die, and you can't make your jump early, otherwise you'll touch the spike and die. Okay. Basically, any of these usually end with touch the spike and die.
And die, yeah.
Yeah. Now this was although I had practiced this before, this was all in a single run. So I am very proud of the performance on that. The next area here has an even harder, or about as hard. We're going to need something to help with this. We're going to need some sort of helper arrow. So we have a helper arrow. Once it reaches that point, you're going to need a jump. Like that.
That's
okay.
Awesome.
These have a lot in common with sort of the bizarre floating blocks from Castlevania 2, if you know that reference. Here's our helper arrow again. There he is, kind of there. When the block reaches that point on the wall, going up, make the jump, and you'll probably make it. The first time through this, I lost all of my health and most of my magic healing my health, trying to make that jump.
Wow.
Fortunately, our helper arrow friend is very nice. He is not going to. Unfortunately, he is gone now. Those are the only helper arrows we need. We need not rely on him too much. Okay, just taking a moment there to gather my thoughts. This room does contain a key. I do believe it's a red key.
But we don't need those. Yay!
Not anymore. Alrighty then, continuing on.
Those are all slidey blocks up top.
Right? I do believe so. That would make sense. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, I think they do. Because if the blue...
Hey, it's that room.
Yeah, it's that room again. This is the other side of it. And look. Awesome. Yeah. One of the peculiarities of the Equinox engine, I suppose... is your turbine is magnetic. It is magnetic turbine. I went that way just to show you that there's nothing that way. It was totally not because I thought that I could get around there. No, that wasn't it at all. That was an example of what didn't happen. So yeah. Now we're heading back to familiar territory. We're going to go and fight the boss.
Yay!
So as we have seen before, this will lead to the boss area. We've already proven our skill with the new weapon. We have the new spell, although we didn't find any use for it yet.
That seems to be a theme. That's the most dangerous hallway ever.
It's pretty dangerous. It's deceptively hard.
Because you take a turn.
Yeah, you take the turn easy because you think it's easy, and it is just, and then you die again and again. Anyways, I took a little refreshing pause, you might say, before fighting the boss here.